Hey guys, we're here with my boy Bestoor, who just finished top 8 at YCS Vancouver with INFERNOBLE. Amazing accomplishment.
Yeah.
How are you feeling today for the format?
This deck is like super underrated, and like every single time I play this deck, it amazes me like what it's actually capable of. Because like as much as I play test, like every single time I'm playing into someone's board, like this deck just always does more than I expect it to. And yeah, I think like the deck list was just perfect. Maybe like 1 or 2 cards could have been different, but other than that, yeah, it's a great deck, and I think it was a good list. So yeah. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like this tournament was great. All my opponents were nice, so yeah, it was awesome.
Awesome. Well, let's get right into the list.
So the God card, 3 Neospace Connector. I can't think of a game where I resolved this card and did not win. This is just like the best card. The worst card in the deck. I drew this maybe 3 times, and every time I drew it with Connector, and I just look at my hand, I'm like, oh, I'm just starting with 4 cards. Cool. Yeah, but resolving this is broken. If you resolve like Dolphin and you don't win, you're just doing something wrong. 3 Ogre. It's like the second normal summon of the deck. This card's great. A lot of people ash this today, and they don't know how, like, this is the wrong play. Don't ash this. But like they actually don't know how annoying it is to get ashed on this card. But yeah, other than that, this like great card. Renaud. For whatever reason, I don't know who started this insane idea of like playing 2 or 1. Like you're psychotic. This is the best INFERNOBLE Knight card. Like this card is so good. Even with Connector, it just doesn't matter. Like you always have a way to another Fire Warrior. This card is broken. Like play 3 of this, please. 2 Oliver. Don't play 1. Again, like this is a really, like this card is insane. This is the way you play once like your opponent board wipes you. Like I played into Branded Chimera and he got like all of my monsters off the field. I went Oliver, pitched Turpin, and I'm like, at that point, this full combo, this is just game. Like this card's really good. Don't play 1. You want to be able to, like, there are game states where you want more than one of your endboard pieces to be untargetable. Like you've been on like Charlemagne, Gearfried, and they're both untargetable. Like half your opponent's hand won't do anything. So play both of these. Magus. This card is sneaky good. This is like a mini Avarice. Shuffle back 3 is cost to draw 1 when it's sent to the graveyard. This card is really good. Just be careful. If you're going into Pearly with like a mid board, do not equip this to your card. You are doing them a favor. Like they'll OTK you because your card can be destroyed by battle, and Happiness attacks infinitely. So you usually want to detach this for one of your negates. Turpin, the Mathmech Sigma. Again, this card's amazing. One of your best extenders. And then Richard Detto. Another, it's like these are 2 just like custom cards. They're really good. But definitely don't play more than 1. Firefront Lady, mandatory. If you hard draw Richard, you need this in deck, so play it. And then the greatest card in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! This is my favorite card. Just this card is everything to this deck. This is like your extender, board breaker, protection from hand traps. This helps you OTK, part of your end board. Like this is like this deck's like, I don't know, like DPE. Like this card is so good. It comes back every turn. It's such a good card. I love this card. 3 Durandal, 1 Almace, 1 Joyous. This is pretty standard. 1 DDR. If you play Living Fossil, you're like a psychopath. I don't know. Phoenix Blade. This card should be banned. This is not a fair card. I have activated this like 6-7 times on the same turn. This card's super broken. If anyone has the rare one, I definitely need it. It's just impossible to find. 3 Museum. This is another custom card. It's just broken. Like I had games where I opened 3 of these and I played through like 4 hand traps. This card is insane. And then 3 more copies of Museum Chalice. This card's also really broken. This also, like, it didn't come up today because no one played Droll, thank God, but like this can help you play under Droll because like you play a lot with your graveyard, so send cards to your graveyard that you need, add them back from the graveyard. And then the last Rhoda, obviously it's like a warrior deck, just yeah. The non-engine, I played 9. I played 3 Book of Eclipse, which is a god card. This card is just like it's won me so many games. This is broken. If you don't play 3 of this, I don't know what you're doing. 3 Book of Moon, it's like Book of Eclipse is like shitty little brother. This card's not even half as good. And then I played 3 Imperms. I played 0 monster hand traps in the main deck because I did not want to play into talents just ever. Like game 1, I do not want to get my hand ripped with talents, like giving them free information and then starting my turn with like 4 cards because I already looped myself for 1. So I just stayed away from it. I just played Imperm, and this was broken today. This helped me win against Flu, Branded Chimera. Like this card, it's just really good. I'm really glad I played Imperm. It was almost Ash. Thank God I did not play Ash in the main deck. And then the extra deck, 2 Angelica. Again, if you play 1, you're weird. I don't know, just play 2. It's really good. 1 Roland. I saw it for the Secret 5s. 2 Charles. You have to play 2. If you play 1 and you play into Cash Tira and you're like going second and they just have it like a random unicorn on field, like they have no end board and just a random unicorn, you play 1 in your extra deck, you've lost the game once you trigger the unicorn. They're just gonna rip it and then you've lost the game. So play 2 until like, I don't know, Cash Tira disappears. Baron, yeah, it's just Baron. 2 Charles, you end on 2 sometimes. This card's awesome. That's all I gotta say. This card's dope. 2 Isolde. Pretty much just 2 because like people still imperm this on the effective search. Players just like I don't know why. So you have to play the second one for that reason. Yeah. Oh, huge shout outs to Tom for finding the second CR one. Thank you so much. Yeah, that came in clutch. Ferocious Flame Swordman. I was just respecting Ibli, and if you get Ibli locked, this is your out. You normal like any of your Fire Warriors. Make this, and then especially when we're not from your hand and like make his whole day, you can just play from there. So yeah, just. Oh, also Contact C. This outs Contact C, which is really nice. Rattan. This card's like weirdly good into Cash Tira, because if you're going like first into Cash and your end board's kind of weak, it's like 2 of your negates and like just this card. If they try to go Fenrir to force out your disruptions at the start of the battle phase, you just destroy Fenrir. So this card's randomly good into Cash. You also need to like clear bodies off your field sometimes, so yeah, you gotta play it. This is the funniest card in my deck by far, but I've had games where I just like, I don't know, I have 1 Gear Freed, I've been debarriered, and I just summon this, wipe my opponent's entire field, and then pass to him on a negate, and he's got like no cards in hand. This card's really good. Oh, this also came up against Pearly, where like, he had a big Noir, and I just summoned this in my Charlemagne that he couldn't interact with either one of my cards. He couldn't put his card in attack position, and yeah, like this came in clutch. Appaloosa. So if you open Connector, Renaud. So if you open these 2, Appaloosa is always your 6th summon. So if your opponent chooses to nib you on your 5th summon, Renaud adds back DDR, so you like full combo. And if they don't, well, they play into Appo and like your combo is just gonna resolve. This was also, if you don't end on this into tier limits, you just kind of lose. Like this deck kind of struggles into tier limits because that deck has a lot of gas and all of your negates do them a favor. So you just have to summon tier limits, and I kind of expected people to just randomly be tiered to this event, so yeah. And then Dempsey. I cut Artorigus because you just don't have space for 2 redundant cards in your extra deck, and playing 2 rank 4s felt kind of weird when you only need this like once every 5th game. So yeah, this one was definitely better, and yeah, so just play this over Artorigus. And then the side deck, which is probably the reason I went so far, was 3 Ash, 3 DD Crow. If you don't main deck Ash, you have to side it. It's just like really good into Branded. And yeah, I was just respecting Branded for sure. Oh, it's also just FTK's Labyrinth. Just draw Ash into Lab and you win the game. DD Crow was for Pearly, but also this is like one of the few hand traps that sort of felt strong into like everything. Like this feels really good into Branded, felt really good into Pearly. This was really good into Unchained in testing, even though I didn't play against Unchained. And yeah, definitely this over Droll. Droll sucks, and I'm really glad that I cut that for this card, because this card, like, I drew this into Branded, and like the moment I like revealed it, he just scooped. He's like, yeah, you got it. Like, the DD Crow's just broken. And then 2 Thrust, 1 Herald of the Abyss, 2 Dark Ruler, Duster, 2 evenly matched. So I almost didn't play this package. I was gonna play like 3 of this, 3 Gamma Seals, and 3 D Barriers. And that was insane. I'm so glad I didn't do that. Though, like that would have been awful. But this package was insane. Like pretty much, I think one thing I would change is play 3 Thrusts and maybe cut one of the hand traps, because this is this might be the best card in Yu-Gi-Oh. Like this card is broken. Just got me to all of the right answers every single time I needed. Going second, every time I opened Thrusts, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna win this game. Like my opponent, unless they drew Ash from my Thrust, I'm gonna win the game. And pretty much every single time this came up, it would have won me the game. Except once into Pearly, like they opened Judgment for Herald of the Abyss, and I'm like, yeah, you're just better at that point. But if they didn't have that, this card pretty much wins every matchup. And then the last card was D-Barrier, which should have been Daruma Cannon. This is one of the cards I would change. I would have played Daruma Cannon instead of this, because this deck loses to Shifter. So the idea into Cash is like, if they Shifter you when you go first, thrust, set D barrier, and then you turn skip them. But that doesn't do anything because they can still kill you through D barrier. But if you set Daruma Cannon and they don't open out to it, you're gonna turn skip them and just kill them on the next turn. So D barrier definitely should have been Daruma Cannon. Other than that, I think the side deck was perfect. This side deck, like, huge shout out to Adam for like convincing me to play this. Thank God I did not play the other side deck. This was so good. This is definitely the reason I made it to top 8. And yeah, besides this, I probably wouldn't change a single card. I might consider 3 thrust, but yeah, that's it. The side deck was just broken all day. And yeah, that's it.
Amazing. Well, thanks again for the deck profile, and a huge congrats to your top. Any last shout outs?
Shout out to Justin for hooking up the Airbnb, giving me a place to stay. Shout out to Adam, Matthew, Vincent, Cameron, Tom for the Isolde. Huge shout out to John Wilkins for letting me borrow his thrust. I showed up to like the venue on check-in day with only 1 thrust, and I'm like, I wrote it into my deck list, and I'm like, I need to find that thrust. Like the first person I walked up to was John. Like, I asked him, do you have a thrust? He's like, yeah, I just gave it to me, and I'm like, thank God. Yeah, thank you so much for that. Huge shout out to Migs, Dane, Tien for playtesting with me. As always, biggest shout out goes to James. Thank you so much for supporting me, having me on the channel. Yeah, every time like I was playing a game and I look over my controller, I just like see James and I'm like, yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.